So, well, this is the workshop on how to do your own immigration application. You probably find me on Facebook. I'm usually on Facebook. I've started using YouTube to get to people, to reach to people who may need my experience, my advice, my tips on doing your own immigration UK. Okay, so to do your immigration application without a lawyer. Now I'm a lawyer, and I'm saying this because you can do this. And the reason why I've thought of this particular topic is because the home office fees are getting expensive. And as you know, the last several years, the home office fees have dramatically increased, okay? And they've been criticized for it, in fact. And one of the things that made it more expensive is the introduction of the immigration health surcharge. It used to be that you only pay one fee, but then in 2000 and I think 2014, they introduced this immigration health surcharge whereby immigrants coming to the UK, staying in the UK would have to pay. In the beginning, they started it with £200 per year. And then recently they increased it to 400 per year per visa. But starting in October, which is in 6 days time, when you apply for your limited leave to remain or you renew it, you then have to pay, instead of £1,000 to pay for the immigration health surcharge, you have to pay £1,560, which is a £560 increase, okay? So it's really becoming unaffordable to apply for leave to remain in the UK. And obviously there are ways that you can maybe get away from paying the visa, and this is to apply for fee exemption. But applying for fee exemption is not very straightforward. In fact, I did one for a client a few days ago, and we're kind of stuck, and she wanted to withdraw because they're asking for a lot of documents when you apply for fee exemption. It's not just a matter of actually just paying for it. They require 6 months bank statements and all other things that you need to submit to show that you're actually destitute and therefore getting the fee exemption. So that's one way, but there isn't really any other way to renew your visa except to pay for the fees. And currently you have to pay home office fees of 1,052. So that's for every application that you are submitting and per applicant, okay? That's for the 2.5 years visa that you are getting. That's 1,052 per application. On top of that, you then have to pay the immigration health surcharge, which I mentioned just earlier. At the moment, it's 1,000, but if you apply starting October, then it goes up to 1,560. And then on top of that, you then have to pay for the biometrics appointment fee, which currently is at 110. So that's from 110. There are no free appointments. So you have to pay this unless you wait a long time. But you can be waiting a long time, especially with the visa centers closing because of the pandemic, and there are not many available appointments. So you have to pay this 110. And then for the documents, if you don't have the facilities, if you don't have the equipment to scan your documents and upload them on the visa center, the partner, the home office partner, UKVCAS, it's quite a mouthful, then you have to pay the scanning fee. So you bring all your documents with your appointment, with your biometrics appointment, and then you pay the $49.99 for them to scan your documents, okay? Now that's just before the lawyer's fees. So imagine if you actually have to then pay for your lawyer's fees, which ranges from 800. Well, maybe there are some lawyers who probably charge less, but I think on average, maybe 800 is, it's kind of like mid-range, from 800 to about 2,000 pounds. Now I haven't um, I haven't done all the, you know, the survey, and I haven't sort of checked, researched how much other lawyers are charging for limited leave to remain. But I think that price range is, you know, it varies. Some lawyers would charge you 1,000, some lawyers would charge you 800, some lawyers would charge you 1,500. So it really varies. So if you add all of that, so to just renew your leave to remain or to apply for leave to remain, then that's, you know, I can't calculate on top of my head, so I'm going to try. But so that's 1,052, then 1,560, that's 2,612 already. And then you add to that the 110. So that's, how much is that? 1,600, 700, 1,700, 1,000, almost 1,800. No, 2,800. 2,800, that's approximate, okay? That's without the lawyer's fees. So it's quite expensive. And with the current economic situation around the world, not just in the UK, and the UK is also experiencing, you know, recession, just like anywhere in the world. And then we have Brexit. We don't know who, you know, we don't know whether we still have jobs to go back to. Everybody's affected. So to have these thousands of pounds, just give it to the Home Office. I know the Home Office, the government needs it. So that's quite a lot of money. And so it's probably in your interest to kind of find out whether you can actually do your own immigration application, whether you would be successful. And this is the reason why I am doing this workshop. So I think personally, okay, think that it's really expensive. The fees are so expensive. I mean, I don't have that kind of money lying around, you know, so what do you do? If you have to do your application, if you have to renew your application, if you have to apply for limited leave to remain, but then you have these fees that you have to pay. Either you know, don't rob a bank, either you borrow money, get into debt just to renew your visa, 2.5 years. It's quite a lot of money, okay? So this workshop, what are we going to cover? We're going to cover, you're going to find out find the link where to apply, okay? And then just make sure you know what the requirements are needed for the type of application. Now, I can't cover all the application. I can't cover every type of application, but generally I can just mention and where to find the link, okay? And what the requirements, but general. And then you're going to find out how to successfully submit your application. And I'm going to share some tips with you guys, okay? So we're going to cover renew, limited leave to remain, indefinite leave to remain, naturalization, and also entry clearance, the family visa, which is usual. I'm not covering the tier 1 and tier 2 because that's kind of, they have separate application because they, you know, you require sponsor. Okay, but just a disclaimer before I continue. Now, if you want to do your application because you have absolutely no choice, you don't want to get into debt, you don't want to pay, you know, a lot of money to the lawyers when you have to already fork out about 2,800 pounds just to renew your visa. Okay, that's excluding the lawyers. You can, a lot of people are already doing it, and probably you've tried it before and then you've been successful, and maybe now you're thinking, well, should I hire a lawyer? I know a lot of people that I've talked to, sometimes they come to me and they say, well, you know, I've done it before, but I still not, you know, I don't want to make a mistake this time, so I want to, you know, hire a lawyer. So, you know, by all means, that's fine. But for those who have complicated cases, complicated circumstances, I think that's why I'm giving this disclaimer. I'm suggesting that you consult with a lawyer first, okay? You consult with a lawyer and you do your research. First of all, do your research and then consult with a lawyer to see if what you found and what you're understanding on your case is actually correct, and whether there are some things that you can get from the lawyer that you can then go away and try and do it yourself. By all means, do that. But you can do your application, but just make sure that you are absolutely sure you're on the right track. And I'm hoping that at the end of this workshop, you know, I can show you that you can do it easily, okay, and not make mistake and not get refused, hopefully. So okay, so my picture here, just short bio. I'm an immigration solicitor, okay, and I migrated to the UK in 1994, and I am so determined to help as many people as I can by sharing my knowledge as an immigration solicitor, okay? I don't want to bore you with the details, but let's just get started, okay? So now, you're probably wondering, before you apply, usually clients would come to me and say, Annalisa, I want to apply for such and such visa. I don't know the requirements, and they usually tell me this scenario. So yeah, so they come to me and they ask, what are the requirements? So the first thing that they usually ask is the requirements. Okay, now that's fair enough. You know, you can ask for the requirements so you can prepare for it. And then the next thing that they ask is, well, they don't ask because sometimes they just instruct me. They instruct me. They say what are the requirements, and then they give me the case. But for those of you who want to do your own application, what I would suggest is you go to this website. So this website here, you make sure it's government, okay? So government website. Now, this website here, it's for the family visa. Okay, it says family visa. Now take note of this link here. It's www.gov.uk/UK family visa partners visa. Now you can easily find this on Google. So if I go back, okay, so if I go back and I'll just say family visa, okay, I know you would probably, if you were applying for, oh yeah, family visa UK, then you'd get that. So make sure that's the government. Okay, so just try to highlight this one so you know what I mean. So you see .gov.uk. So make sure you click that one, and then it gets you to this page, and this has all the information about family visas. Now, if you're doing it yourself, you probably think, well, I don't really know. Okay, that's a lot of information here. Okay, it's a lot of information because the Home Office has actually like put it in one place for family visas. This is to, if you apply to join, like enter clearance, if you're outside the UK, you have to use this kind of portal, okay? If you want to extend, that means you're in the UK, but you want to renew or extend. So it can be, if you are, if you already were granted limited leave to remain and it's expiring, then you extend, okay? Or you are in the UK from with a different visa and you want to switch. So let's say you were on tier 5 visa or tier 2 visa and you want to apply for family visa. I mean, it doesn't make sense with tier 2, but if you were on other visa, apart from visit visa, you can't switch, okay? Unless, well, you can switch actually, but that you have to speak to a lawyer about that, okay? Because it's not straightforward, and unless you can show there's exceptional circumstances. Okay, so here you see if you're outside the UK, sorry, if you're outside the UK, so here it says if you're outside the UK and you can apply for family visa to live with your spouse, your partner, okay, your fiance, your child, your parent, your relative, and so on. And then if you're in the UK, so this is what we're looking for if you're in the UK. Now, the reason why I'm just mentioning that, I'm not going to cover it today because there's a whole lot of requirements that you need for this. But and I would not suggest, unless you're absolutely sure what the requirements are, to do it yourself. I won't suggest to do it yourself unless you're absolutely sure what the requirements are and you're confident that you're doing the right thing. Okay, I would always advise, if you're outside the UK, or if you're watching and you're a sponsor and you want your spouse, your children to join you in the UK, to always seek consultation with a lawyer to give you advice before you actually submit your application, because it's a lot of money. Okay, so it's better that you're sure that you're doing the right thing, and pay extra, let's say 200. I don't know how much consultation lawyers these days, but I charge 150 for a consultation. But ask for a consultation just to get the reassurance that you have all the requirements, you've completed the right form, and so on. Okay, so some lawyers would do it, some lawyers wouldn't, because they don't want to just sort of like give advice on the basis that they haven't really seen all the documents and so on. So, but it's worth getting advice from a lawyer. But here, if you're in the UK, okay, if you're in the UK and you've already been granted limited leave to remain and you just want to extend it, then it's quite okay. It's okay to do it for your own. Okay, so here is the paragraph if you're in the UK. Okay, and then it says who can apply, when can you apply to extend or switch, and then you've got the fees here, immigration health surcharge, and then I think at the bottom it says, yeah, at the bottom you can then click apply as a partner or spouse. Now let me just double check, okay, because you have to make sure that you are, oh yeah, so if you actually tick this one, I think it asks you question, are you in the UK, in a minute. Oh yeah, so here, yeah, so here again it separates it outside the UK. So how to apply, I don't know who's done this. I don't know who's done this, okay, but for me, if I'm using it, it can be a bit confusing because it's not actually clear. It should be separated outside the UK and in the UK, so that when you actually in this page, it should be quite clear that if you're outside, you just click, because you have to actually trail through and look at it carefully, read everything before you find this bit here. It says in the UK, apply online, right? That's it. So that's how you, and then apply now, you click the button, and then you just follow on through the questions. Now, just a bit of a tip that I want to share with you. When you're completing the application form online, they will ask a lot of questions, especially if you are renewing your visa. They will ask questions about everyone in your life. I'm saying, I'm exaggerating, but they ask questions about your partner, yourself. Do you have children? Who was your previous partner? Who was your previous husband? Do you have children with them? And your partner, current partner now, and it gets too detailed. So don't worry about it, okay? Because and sometimes you may make mistake because you don't understand, you can't follow the questions, and you may have misinterpreted the question and answer it differently. I would not worry about that. If you made a mistake, submitted the application form and made a mistake, just make sure in your cover letter you go through, because sometimes when you make mistakes, it then comes up with all list of the documents that you are supposed to submit. So one of the common ones that I found is if the applicant has a partner, and then the partner then has children and previous relationship, the Home Office or this application, it will come up with a checklist of your proof of your parental responsibility over those children. Okay, I mean, I don't know why they've included questions like that, or they've included documents that you're supposed to submit, and you can't even leave it blank when you go through the documents. You have to tick everything before it allows you to move on to the next page, or lets you submit. It won't let you submit unless you tick everything. So although you can't sort of say at that stage whether or not, you can't sort of say, well, this bit here doesn't apply, just tick everything, and then on the cover letter, you write a letter to the Home Office and say, by the way, on this checklist, you've asked me for this document. doesn't apply to my case because, okay? So, or if you've discovered that you've made a mistake and you've submitted it, just address it straight away on the cover letter instead of just hoping for the best, okay? It's better that the Home Office finds out and you have record of it, that you've notified them that you've made a mistake on the application form, then at least you're covered, okay? So this is so that's the family application, guys, okay? So it's pretty straightforward. Now, if you're applying for indefinite leave to remain, now this is something, applying for indefinite leave to remain, it's one of those applications that should be straightforward. But if you make a mistake and you confidently think that, oh, you know, I can definitely get the indefinite leave to remain. I've done my application the last 2 times. So if you've done your application on your entry clearance, let's say, and then you renew it when you came to the UK, and then you then apply for the indefinite leave to remain, and on your own thinking that, oh, everything is correct, you know, I've complied with all the requirements, then okay. But I still think that unless you want to lose 2,300, that's the indefinite leave to remain Home Office fees, over 2,000, unless you want to lose all that, because there is no appeal for indefinite leave to remain, okay? Then, you know, then, okay, go and submit it without a lawyer's input. It's still better to make sure that you've actually got just a consultation with a lawyer to make sure that you're on the right track. It's not actually giving the money, the full money, to the lawyer, because what the lawyer does is they complete the application form, they review the documents. I mean, it's your document, okay? We only look at it, but you should know what documents you have. And then you complete the application form, the lawyer complete the application form, and then make representations to the Home Office. That's what we do, okay? We give you advice on, for example, if you're missing documents or you're not complying with the requirement, or whether or not what else you have to prepare before we submit. But if you're too confident to submit it and lose your fees, then, you know, then do it. But if you don't want to lose the £2,000 that you've paid to the Home Office, then it's better to pay a little bit extra to the lawyer, to consult with the lawyer to make sure that you're on the right track. So for settlement application, you've got, the Home Office has, okay, so if you go here, okay, and again, this is, you can go onto Google, okay, and I'll show you how to do it. Oh, okay. So you can say indefinite leave to remain, or settle in the UK. Let's see, settle in the UK. Okay, so here, apply to settle in the UK. Let's see what this is. Again, it's the government website, okay? So you've got long residence. We don't want that. We just want the settle in the UK, apply to, so I would say indefinite leave to remain. And then you have here, find out. So this is the one, find out if you can apply to settle in the UK. Okay, so find out if you can apply to settle in the UK, and then you have 2 choices here. The SETM, okay, SETM, which is settle in the UK as the partner of a person or parent of a child who is in the UK and settled here, form SETM. So, you know, if you remember, before the online application process, there was a form called SETM, and it was used for if you're married, okay, and then if you have dependents, then they also join in the application. But here you have here what exactly it's for, SETM. And then for all other categories, then you click on the SETO. If you click on that, okay, so again, pay attention to the link. What I did was I actually just looked on the right-hand side here, okay, so it says settle in the UK, and then on the right-hand side, related content, It says set O. So if your application is not set M, then it's set O. And then you can look at the documents, sorry, not documents, but the details on this. It says use this form to apply online if you want to apply for settlement in various categories. So these are the various categories that have to use set O. Okay? So you've got the work permit holder, dependent or work permit holder, PBS dependent, and so on. And then you've got check your eligibility, and then complete application online. Let's have a look and see. Yeah, apply online for SETO. All right. So that's the one. And then I'll show you about how to apply for British citizenship. So UK, I would say UK naturalization. See, you'll come up. This is UK.gov UK website. Click on that, and then it will show you. Okay, it will show you the link from the Home Office. All right. So if you move to the UK and so on. Okay. And the other thing I wanted to show you was the on the family route. Okay, I'm just going to go back. This is also outside the UK means you're applying for an entry clearance. As I mentioned earlier, entry clearance. So apply online from outside the UK. So this is where you are going to apply. And again, it's Appendix FM partner, Appendix FM child. So if you're a partner, or if you're a sponsor and you're applying on behalf of your child, then Appendix FM child, and then so on. So you just click next and then continue with the application. All right. Now I'm not entirely sure whether because I can't see. I'm using Zoom. I can't see what the comments are on the. Okay. Hi, Charina. Okay. So Charina, if you're still around, I've got your message. So about the renewal of 10 years. Oh yes. So. Okay, let me check on that. Okay, so you want to, yes, so it's actually no time limit. I think I have already done that, right? So I think what you have to do is you pay, I think 200, let me just have a look. I'm just gonna quickly look that up. So no time limit fee, the application fee. As far as I know, it's 229. This is the link. Okay, Charina, so this is the link if you want to do it yourself. So biometric residence permits, renew should be. Okay. Yeah, replace an expired BRP. No, that's not the one. Yeah, replace an expired. If it's expired, yeah, you need to replace it. Sorry. This is where you can find all the information about replacing it, about applying for it used to be called no time limit application. That was the form that was it was called no time limit. But as you know, everything is online. So what they do is just basically give you this information, and then prompt you to follow whichever is the that you need to apply. So replace your visa with BRP. Let's have a look. I'm reading this one, okay? BRP report, yeah. So I would click that one and see what it says. Okay. Yeah, you must apply inside the UK. There is, as far as I know, there's only one application. Here is you have permission to settle. You must apply online if you have indefinite leave to remain. So this is the one that you're looking for, Charina. So just click on that one. It costs 229. Okay, you'll get the decision within 6 months. If you want to have the same day service, it costs an additional £800. So that's what you would do. Just click on that one and then follow the prompt. Okay. The thing is, when you're reading this, okay, when you're reading this government information, it's not difficult. Okay, just read it. Maybe if you don't get it first time, just read it again. Maybe you have to go away, do something, make a cup of coffee, and then come back, and then try and do it. Try and read it again, and then you get it. Okay. So it says use this form if you are in the UK and want to update, replace, or transfer your biometric residence permit or your biometric residence card. And then you select category of application below for more information on who can apply. So update, replace, or transfer your biometric residence permit. So, or update or replace your biometric residence card. So I think there are two types of biometric residence. Either it's a permit, I think it's a sticker, or it's a residence card, which is, you know, the card that you have. So I'm not entirely sure, is it? So it's here, you just click apply now. And do you currently have leave to remain? And then you answer. It's very straightforward. So this is you start the application documents, declaration, pay, and further actions. So this is what happens. Once you get here, okay, further actions, once you pay, then it prompts you what you need to do, further actions, such as book an appointment, download the declaration form, what's there? Download the checklist. Okay, so those are the things that you have to do. And then when you click on the book appointment, it then takes you to the UKVCAS website, which is this one. All right, UKVCAS. Oh, so then it takes you to this website here, and then you create your account, and inside, yeah, so this is the website, and then inside here you'll be able to prepare your documents, okay, and then you can also buy services here. You know, just be careful that although they have like document checking, document translation, that's absolutely fine, but document checking, oh, I'm surprised that they haven't, because they had before like advice on the documents, I think. Yeah, that's document checking. What you have to remember is they're not trained. You know, for lawyers, okay, if you opt for document checking and they're not lawyers and they made mistake, okay, there is absolutely no, if they make mistake and you get refused, you can't really then go back to them and say, oh, by the way, you know, you checked the documents, but still I got refused. You said that all my documents are fine, but how come, you know, I got refused? You cannot go back to them and say that, or maybe take legal action or complaint. Okay, so just bear in mind. Whereas if you actually use a lawyer, if the lawyer checks it and the lawyer says, yes, you have all the documents, you're absolutely fine, submit it, but then the lawyer makes mistake, you can then make a complaint, go back to the lawyer and say, oh, by the way, Annalisa, you told me that this, the documents are supposed to be all in order. You've advised me, that's what you advised, and that's why I submitted. Then you can make a complaint. You can complain to, you know, you can complain to me. So just bear in mind. I don't even know how much. Let's see how much they charge. Yeah, here, document checking. How much do they charge? Oh, they only charge $44.99. So, well, I don't even know what. Okay. You can buy the document checking service if you want our team to check that you have correctly uploaded the documents for your appointment. Oh, I see. Okay. So they're not really advising you whether or not you have all the documents. It's not like some kind of legal advice that they have, but it's actually just to confirm that you've uploaded the documents correctly. Okay. And you have to pay for that, $44.99. Yeah, that's quite a lot of money. Okay. So when you get to here, yeah, you get to book the appointment, and then this is what I would recommend you do. You have them scanned, you pay for this. It's $49.99, okay, per person, per application. I would give it to them and give all your documents, and they scan it. Then, you know, then at least, but make sure that when you give it to them, you actually know that what documents you have. I mean, they give it to you anyway, but I would record it just to make sure that they've actually scanned everything, because how will you know, right? I have actually I had a client who went for appointment, and we bought. Okay, so this is the Visa Center's mistakes. They make mistakes, and they're not really interested. They should be interested, but what happened was we scanned her documents, but then we realized that there's not enough documents that she's given us. So we asked her to bring all the original documents, and we paid for this service, $49.99, for them to scan her documents. But when she got there, she brought all her documents, but then when she got there, this Visa Center staff said, "Oh no, we don't need to scan all your documents. Just this page, just one page, which was the declaration of her husband." And then a few days later, the Home Office contacted us, emailed us to say, "Where are your client's documents?" Okay, so imagine if the Home Office just refused her indefinitely to remain application on the basis that we have not submitted everything. And the reason why we could not submit everything was because we just advised her to take the documents to the Visa Center, and they were supposed to scan it to add to her application, but they did not even look at that. She said, "I've got documents. My solicitor said I have to give this to you," but they completely ignored it. This woman apparently completely ignored it. And luckily, unfortunately, and fortunately, she got her visa. We submitted everything by email. So we should really get a refund for this, for the payment. And yeah, that's something we have to write to them to refund. Okay. So once you've done that, then it's pretty much a waiting game. The last 4 or 5 applications that we did this month, okay, it's been returned really, really quickly, as in literally like within 2 weeks. Within 2 weeks, that's how quick the Home Office decision making is at the moment, okay? But those who were caught in the lockdown, until now, we still don't know what's happening with the application. Okay, so just be prepared for that. All right, so let's see what I've said I would cover. I have definitely covered the renew, limited to remain, definite naturalization, entry clearance. Now I wanted to talk about requirements. Okay. So because you know where to find the application already, I'll talk about the requirements. Now, the requirements that you need to submit. When you submit your application, you will get a checklist. So here, okay, so it's further actions, okay, because this is the application form. So further actions, they'll tell you to download the checklist, to download the download the declaration form, and then book an appointment. So for the checklist, I mentioned earlier that some of those, some questions and some documents may not be relevant to you specifically, especially if it's asking about like children that you don't have any responsibility for. So those documents that clearly do not apply to your circumstances, to your application, address them in the cover letter. But when you go through the checklist, make sure that you really understand what they are looking for. So for example, if you are renewing your spouse visa, partner's visa, or child's visa, for example, and you are on the 5-year route, okay? So the 5-year route, meaning you will get your indefinitely to remain after 5 years of holding that visa. It's really important that when you renew, you still comply with the requirements previously. So when you applied, make sure that when you applied before, just remember what those requirements are, and also kind of do a bit of research whether or not there has been changes on the immigration rules. But when you apply when you renew your visa, these two mandatory requirements that have to be submitted would be the financial income requirement, which is you submit your bank statements if you're employed, showing your salary that goes into your bank account. And then the pay slips, the corresponding, we call it corresponding pay slips. So if you are paid monthly and you have 6 months pay slips, and you have to do 6 months if you've been with the employer for over a year, 6 months pay slips that shows your salary, then you must submit the same period on the bank statement. So if you have, let's say, from January to June pay slips, then you must make sure that you're also submitting the January to June bank statements to show the money going in every month, okay? That you comply with the requirements. Now that's just the employment. If your sponsor, if you are also employed, then pay slips and bank statements, and then you have letter from the employer that you need to get. So everything will be on the checklist. It's quite thorough. So it's like you tick, all those financial requirements, and they include the letter from the employer. It may be the contract. Yeah. So, but for self-employed, there's a different category of documents that you have to submit, and that's quite complicated. If your sponsor or you are self-employed and you have not done your tax, you have not submitted the self-assessment tax return, you've not paid your tax, you've not seen your accountant you haven't got a letter from them to say what the profit and loss in your business is about, then make sure you research about it, because if you don't have those list of documents that the Home Office expects, then it's going to be automatically refused, because it's like a tick. They actually tick this. They look at the document, they tick, oh yeah, I have this self-assessment tax return, tick. I have this proof that he's paid the tax, tick. I have this profit and loss account, tick. I have a letter from the accountant, tick, and so on and so on. Okay, so that's self-employment. And then, so those are just two tricky ones. Obviously, if you have other other method of showing that you meet the financial requirement, then there is a guidance from the Home Office that shows you exactly what those documents you need to submit, if you're relying on other ways of showing the financial income requirement proof, okay? The other requirement that you must submit is the English language. So this is just for the limited leave to remain, the English language, you have to have it. Now, they keep changing these requirements, because in the past, they say, oh, you can just use the ones from your previous application, right? But now they've changed it. It expires in 2 years, so you have to uh, you have to sit a new one. If you used one in your entry clearance application and then you renew it, then you obviously that's already expired because it's only valid for 2 years. I mean, I don't see how your English level does that make sense to you? I don't see how your English level, English language skill would have been degraded by being actually in the UK. So I don't know why the Home Office decides to require applicants to still prove that they can speak English. I mean, wouldn't it be, it just doesn't make sense to me. Anyway, but you have to renew your English language test if that was over 2 years ago. It's expired. Now we did this with with my clients when I submitted the application, and I kind of missed the changes. But fortunately, the Home Office sent us a letter to say, ask your client to sit the English language test again. Okay, renew his English language test and let us have it. So we did that. He did that, and he passed. Why wouldn't he pass, right? So he's been in the UK 2 years, speaking English, dealing with English. Then of course he'll pass. So he passed, and he got his visa. All right. So those are the two things that you have to submit with the application. Now, with other applications, now that's quite a straightforward. Limited leave to remain, when you renew it, the requirements are pretty straightforward for the 5-year route. But if you are on the 10-year route, you don't have to comply with those requirements if you really can't, meet the financial requirement, for example, because your sponsor is on benefits and you don't have the English language, English language tests and so on, then they're not so strict as long as you can show that you're still maintaining family life in the UK. I think that's this is what I think. Because when you read the rules, okay, it doesn't, when you're under the 10-year route, doesn't actually tell you what you're supposed to have. When you complete the application, it's very long form, and it has a whole list of documents that you have to submit. Okay, but it doesn't mean that if you don't comply with the requirements that it will be refused. I mean, I have had different types of applications, and it's been, it's gone through. Okay, so the Home Office approves it. And this is especially if you have a child who's British citizen, and you were granted a 10-year route before. So it's kind of, they just expect you to renew it and then grant you the visa anyway. Okay, so I think I am coming to an end. So I hope that this, let me just double check. I'm just going to close this one. I hope that okay, so yeah. I can't show the chat, unfortunately. So I don't know whether somebody's made a comment on it, but I will just pick it up later on. So I hope it's been useful to you guys. If there are any topics that you want me to show you, or you want me to explain, you want me to do a video on, please leave a comment on the on this channel, and please subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, because I will be doing Immigration Live every week to show you, to share with you tips on how to successfully apply your application, either on your own, or what you need to do to prepare if you are intending to come to the UK from outside, from abroad, to join your family, for example. Yes, so I have to end this, and I hope you have a lovely evening, and thanks very much for joining me tonight. Bye.